Hello, everybody. I'm looking at the count and it says zero because we're competing against Taylor Swift tonight. Isn't that right, Steve?
You can't compete against Taylor Swift.
which is all good. I know that you guys that are tuning in are watching not live, but watching a little bit later. Maybe we'll have some live people pop up here in a little while once the game is over. I'll go ahead and remind everybody that for people that haven't already signed up yet, please go to zenbountywars.com because if you sign up there, you'll be the only group of people that will be receiving the collectible two-sided signature card that will be coming out with the Zen Bounty Wars Kickstarter, the actual issue number one that we're launching on March 21st. So I just wanted to remind everybody about the sign up page that we have over there, just so you know what's going on and you guys don't miss out on that because it's a freebie. All you got to do is sign up, and all that does is it allows us to notify. It allows us to notify you before I choke on my own words. It
Well,
allows us
well,
to
just
notify you that the campaign is launching and all that good stuff.
right.
So, Steve, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. And Bill, just to clarify what you were just saying,
Yeah, please
uh,
do.
by signing up now, prior to the launch
Right
of
for this
the
right here.
campaign, uh,
Yeah.
those people who sign up are entitled to that exclusive uh, two-sided signature card. However, they still have to pledge at any level of the campaign.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that's
so,
essential.
so it's
Absolutely. Yeah, you
right,
don't just get the card just for signing up. You do have to pledge. Now, if you sign up and you don't pledge, you haven't committed to anything. It's no big deal.
right,
At least you got your name in there and you got a chance to look at the
exactly,
campaign and make a decision for yourself whether or not you want to back. And I know you guys do because this is a
oh yeah,
full circle historic Zen event, getting Zen and
yeah,
Mira X together for a bounty hunting adventure again. This is 30
yeah,
years in the making. So yeah, I hope that everybody will back and be a part of it.
absolutely.
So that's
And
my PR spiel for now. Let me go back to drawing things. That's what I'm good at.
okay, so Bill, you're going to be colorizing, uh, perhaps finalizing the color tonight of page one of issue number one of Zen Bounty Wars, correct?
Exactly. That's what we're working on tonight. So yeah, so I'm continuing what we started last time. Let's see. Let me think about what I want to tackle next because sometimes when you're looking at the page as a whole, you don't just want to just color one right after the other because you're kind of
Right.
you're painting and sculpting as we're going here. So I think what I want to do is kind of work on this last panel, but let me put in some flats for the second panel so that way we kind of have a nice little direction of where we're going to be
Yeah, and Bill,
going.
could you once again explain for the uninitiated what the term flats means vis-a-vis coloring?
Sure. In fact, you know what? I'm going to explain it while I'm actually doing it because I'm going to do some flats for the panel that I'm working on right now,
Okay.
and I will explain as I go. So I'm just selecting kind of a just a neutral kind of color. So the flats, what I'm doing with flats is for anybody who's kind of new to digital coloring or just interested in it. Like you got the background, you have the figures like in the midground, and then you have things that are in the foreground. And you kind of want to separate those things from each other before you start going in and painting a lot of things. So I've got Zen's teapot right here in the foreground, and I've got Zen stepping out of it, and I've got some ground, tree, and then off in a distance, we've got some atmosphere back there. So what I want to do is separate those things. So I've already selected kind of a yellow color. So I'm just going to go ahead and as you will see, for those of you who have an iPad, you're interested in using Procreate. I'll just keep on moving this around so you see which tools I'm picking and you see what kind of work habits I have going back and
Mhm.
forth. I'm constantly zooming. This is why I like working on my iPad as opposed to my Wacom tablet. Everybody likes something different, so I mean, it's not like this is the only way to do it. Obviously,
Mhm.
this is just what works better for me. I like being able to zoom in and out like super fast all the time. So I'm just going to draw a quick mask around. I already selected that mask tool, so I got this freehand mask. I could tap, or I can just drag the pencil. When I got little distinctive shapes or whatever. Whatever's easier for your hand. Sometimes I switch back and forth depending on what I feel like doing in the moment. So I
Mhm.
zoomed in really close because I want to make sure I get this line just inside the black area. And then I can kind of like tap and then I finish. So now I've got this mask area here. So I'm just going to grab an airbrush from my drop down tools here. And all right, so that's what I've done there. I've dropped in just the yellow color from, so I'm not going to shade it or do anything with it just yet. I'm just going to leave it like that. And I'm going to slide right 2 fingers on the layer in order to lock the layer. So that way the layer, nothing else can happen to it.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to move on to the next thing. So with Zen, I'm going to go ahead and just pick kind of just a middle of the road blue because I'm not getting into detail yet. I'm just putting down what we call the flats. So I've got to select a new layer. So I've just created a new layer that's behind this yellow.
Hmm.
So you could tell that I'm drawing over here in the yellow, nothing's happening. It's because I'm
Yeah.
drawing behind it. It's almost like a pane of glass where I'm
Huh.
drawing behind it. So let me see, I'll make this pencil just a little bit bigger. And that's what I'm doing over here. Little slider tool there so I can make the pencil a little bit bigger for myself. And I decided to just paint it in over here instead of drawing a mask because it's a little small area. I don't want to waste. You're always trying to make sure you're using your time wisely. Trying to manage your
Mhm.
time so you're not spending longer on a page than you think you should.
Right.
And then I'm gonna keep this little thing that's in his hand. He's got a little scanner where he's tracking this dude.
Right.
But I don't really need to create a whole different layer for that. I'll just
Mhm.
pick a different color and just throw it in here real quick because there's not a lot of things happening in this layer as far as like complexity or if I needed to change something, it's like it's still going to
Mhm.
be easy for me to like reach those areas.
Mhm.
So I'm just going to lock that layer in place. Then I'm going to create a new blank layer because I've got this ground and I've got this tree in the foreground here. So let me just, I don't know, I'll create some kind of like dark brown just to see just so I could separate it. I want to separate it so that I could tell the difference between the different areas. And they're all locked in so that way when I go back and start shading, I don't have to worry about coloring outside the lines.
Mhm. I can recall back in the day, there used to be this rule of thumb that
Mm-hmm.
it could take about a day for a colorist to colorize a page. With the new technology and whatnot, what do you think on average it is today?
It depends on the person. It depends on the skill level and the talent of the person doing the work. For instance, let's talk about Cat Mouse for a minute because she does a ton of coloring for us, right?
Yep.
Now she uses a different program. Not that the program makes a big difference in how much time you're spending coloring the page. You're going to use whatever program works best for you, whatever tools you like best. But she can color 3 or 4 pages in the time that it takes me to color one page.
Really?
She's very fast, she's very efficient, and she has some tricks that are just a lot more time sensitive than mine. Than my, I'm very old school Crayola. Like she would have
Mhm.
colored this tree in like 2 seconds, but at the
Really?
same time, as I kind of like taking my time coloring this part because while I'm coloring it, I'm making decisions on other parts of the image that I haven't really figured out yet.
Hmm.
So it kind of buys me time. It's sort of like this is me saying in between two sentences because it's buying me time for me to gather my thoughts to what my next joke is going to be. You know what I mean? If
Uh,
so that's what especially when I'm painting into color. I'm just like, well, what do I want to do with the background? So while I'm painting in the tree, I'm thinking about what might look better, and as the tree starts to take shape, like maybe it makes more sense and it comes to me. You know what I mean?
mhm.
So I got this
Wow.
tree kind of kind of painted in here. J Tunes, how you doing?
Hey, J2, how
Good
are you,
evening
man?
to you, good sir.
Yes. Bill, are you working at 100% original artwork size or print size? Is the
You know
question.
what? When I'm coloring, I work at print size because I'm able to zoom up like ridiculously fast. And when I'm drawing, I draw the original art. I draw on 11 by 17. Let's see. I don't happen to have. I thought I had a page right next to me in arm's reach, but I do not. But anyways, I do draw like the original art before I scan it in is 11 by 17. I shrink it down to print size for coloring. Yeah.
Hmm.
So just so you know that's what's happening. That's what's
Right.
happening there.
Well, the standard size, for uh, like Blue Line Pro art boards is the 11 by 17, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's our standard size. That's our industry size.
Right.
And some people prefer to draw even a little bit bigger than that, kind of like kind of old school 70s size.
Hmm.
But I'm thoroughly happy with drawing 11 by 17, just keeping that same standard. But when I'm coloring, like it all depends. If I'm coloring something that may or may not end up being a print or something like that in the future, where it really needs to be 11 by 17, I
Hmm.
typically color everything right to print size. So I'm coloring this page and most pages, like our print size is typically 6.88 by 10 and a half. That's
Right.
usually a standard bleed print size.
Right. Very close to 7 by 10, which is kind of a
Right.
comic.
Exactly.
Right.
Right, right. So I don't really know what I want to do with this background just yet. So I think I'm just going to make it an arbitrary color, and then we'll
Uh-huh.
figure it out in a minute. Let's see. Let me grab an airbrush so that way I can just fill it. Oh, look at that! See what I did? I didn't
Yeah.
protect nothing. I didn't
Huh.
protect nothing. Oh, it's above it. Look, see? I got my layer in the wrong spot. I got to put this layer behind the tree.
Oh, boy.
Now we're cooking. And I also got to put that layer behind Zen because I just erased everything that happened with Zen.
Ah,
So let me put this layer behind Zen. Okay, now Zen's back. Now we're good.
wow.
So very important to have the layers all in the right spot, right? So
This program seems, very complex.
there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of
Yeah.
little pieces to it. Yep.
Out of curiosity, does it cost several $100s or more to buy like a program like that? I'm just really curious.
Oh, dude, Procreate is amazing in the sense that first of all, it's a great program. It's very
Right.
intuitive.
Hmm.
And I've been doing all of my heavy lifting with it. This is literally a $30 program.
What?
Yeah, it's world changing. Everybody else, like Clip Studio, has a subscription service, so you're paying them monthly. Photoshop, I pay $10 a month for Photoshop, but you have to pay forever.
Yeah.
You're essentially renting Photoshop. Hey, thanks, JTunes. I appreciate it, man.
Oh, yeah. It's very nice.
So you're renting Photoshop, and it's I actually need to pay for the Creative Cloud, which is more like 50 or $60, and it's a month. You in the old days, which weren't that long ago,
Yeah.
you were able to just buy it outright, which is more like a $700-800 program by itself. If you wanted a suite of programs, it costs a whole lot more.
But
It's pretty
create,
crazy.
you said, cost a one-time flat fee of $30.
Yeah, and they give you all the updates. Every time they update the program, they let you have those updates for free. So I'm just like,
Wow.
That's the jam. So yeah, Procreate has won me over on a couple different levels.
I would think so.
Needless to say. Now I do have to spend like $2,000 on my getting myself an iPad. So
Uh-huh.
there's the expense of having an iPad, but I do use the iPad for so many other things though. So it's my go-to device for just so many different things that I do. So even if I wasn't using it for art, which it's always been my intention to use it for art when it finally got
Hmm.
good enough,
Hmm.
I would still be using it for like 10 other things.
Really?
Yeah, I think I consume more media and do more of my afternoon work on my iPad than on my desktop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I
Seems to
didn't
be
think it
the
was gonna. Yeah,
way.
I didn't think it'd be like that. All right. So,
Man,
anyways,
it
I drew a
really
mask.
looks so awesome, Bill.
Oh, thanks, dude.
It,
Thanks, dude.
when people get a sense of how much work and creativity and raw time gets put in on even just one comic book page, the kind of pledge costs that we build into things like Kickstarter, I
Hmm.
think are very reasonable, to be honest with you.
It's a lot of work. These can easily become 12-hour days. Depending on what you're working on. This
Yeah.
is why if you get into art, you got to do it because you love it, because you're gonna do a lot
Okay.
of it.
Right.
So, anyways, I was just painting in some little rough shapes to kind of like build up like these leaves, these
Mhm.
tree leaves, and like I said, I'm just using an arbitrary color for them right now
Right.
because I'm probably going to use some shade of green or mix in some different little colors. But I just want to get them blocked in where they're going to go, and then we could play with them a little bit later.
Wow.
Ken, what's going on, dude? Taking a break from the Super Bowl. I know you see us over here having a live stream competing against the Super Bowl. Man,
Yeah,
we got some nerve.
we're going up against not only the Super Bowl, but of course Taylor Swift.
Oh man. So let me see. Let me look at some things with this background for find my airbrush here again. Make it a little bit smaller. Because I already know kind of what I want to do with this background right here. So I was like, let me kind of figure out what's happening with this over on this side. So I'm just airbrushing in some orange on top of this pink that I laid down for the. And since it's an alien world, I could really play around with the colors a little bit,
Oh yeah,
just
it
as long as
it
it
is
separates
a
out.
world. In fact, it's a based on the script I wrote. It's a planet called Mitra, Mitra
Hmm.
5, Mitra 5, and it's located in the Majoris cluster. These are things that I've picked up over decades of reading various science fiction books, right?
Hmm.
But and by the way, speaking of that,
Uh-huh.
next week our goal will be to letter this page.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. No, I still do my lettering very very old school with Photoshop. So I think you'll find that for anybody else who uses different programs for lettering or they use Illustrator, it'll be a little interesting to see because the way I do it in Photoshop is kind of a get it done method.
Yeah.
I'm not don't really have a program that kind of like fills the balloons in for me or anything like that. So anyways, I'm putting in some really dark browns into the ground here. I'm just kind of drawing it in,
Boy,
and then I'm blending it so that way we get just a little bit of dimension to the ground, just to have a little something.
it's great. Fascinating to watch this happen in real time.
Welcome to my world.
Quite a world indeed.
Powered by pizza. And it used to be powered by a lot more soda, but apparently I have to cut down on the soda according to my doctor.
Oh, but the pizza's okay.
So far the pizza's okay. It's like if I can cut out all the soda, that sort of offsets my pizza.
I guess if you have to give up one, you got to give up the soda.
If I got Yeah, the soda is the worst one. It's no, there's no question that soda is going to be the worst of the bunch. So
Is there a really great go-to pizza place in your locality there?
uh, there are a couple different. I mean, other than the typical franchise kind of things like a Papa John's or something like
You
that.
know,
There
you
are
know,
a couple of places here that actually are a little bit more respectable as far as like being actually like Italian. So we got a place called Venice.
uh,
They and there's another place actually. You know what? I actually forgot the name of this one place. My favorite place here is a place called Pizza Chapel, and it's kind
uh,
of cool. It's kind of cool because it's this little hole in the wall place down at the beach, and
mhm.
it used to actually be a chapel, and the chairs and everything inside, and they have a full bar and the whole bit. It's a cool place. So, but like all the regular tables and stuff, the chairs are actually like the pews
Oh my God.
that used to be part of the church, that used to be part of the chapel that was there. I thought that's
Well, you, you know,
hilarious and cool.
Bill. Of course, as a few people know, I used to be in the advertising business,
Yes, yes.
and so I my advertising brain always kicks in, and
Uh
so
huh.
like if I were doing the advertising for Pizza Chapel,
Yeah, yeah.
the subtitle would be "Where Pizza is a Religious Experience."
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
And that's got like I think it's I try to find pizza that's as close to like my New York style pizza as possible. And I
Well,
think
that's
that's about as close as I've gotten. Hey Rick, how you doing, man? I'm glad you're here, dude. Thanks.
Rick. How are you? I don't think I've met Rick before. Hey, Rick. How are you? What does Rick do? Where is finally a church I can get behind? I like. Yeah,
Amen, brother. I preach the gospel of cheese and pepperoni.
yeah. Well, being a New Yorker, I'm really particular about pizza.
Oh, you
And
have to be.
here
Oh yeah,
in
yeah.
the LA area, there are a couple of establishments that came here from the city.
Uh huh.
And one of the key things about both pizza and bagels, if they're going to be really good,
Uh
they
huh.
got to import, believe it or not, the water from New York. Oh yeah, like the Brooklyn Bagel Company here,
Yeah.
which is a franchise that was owned by the uh, late great Larry King, right?
Oh, get
Uh,
out of here.
I
Okay.
think it's
Yeah.
called the Brooklyn Water Bagel Company, and they literally mean that the water is imported, and it makes a hell of a difference. I hate to say it, but it does.
Hey, it's part. Yeah. If you're part of the atmosphere, you're part of like the whole little ecosystem that makes that pizza.
Yeah,
Or it's like makes whatever. It's like those are the ingredients that go into it. So yeah, yeah,
yeah.
that makes total sense. But I find it very interesting that's like, okay, we nailed it. We found out one of the secrets.
Oh yeah. Look at that tree. Look at the texture you've put on that. It's not just color, Bill, right? It's texture too.
A little bit of texture, a little bit of some highlights, and then this is my favorite tool out of most of the Procreate tools that are in my little set here, and it's this little blending tool because
Yeah.
I could draw in like the little sketchy things, like I'm implying a lot of these little different shapes and stuff, but then I can go back in and blend it, so it's almost like I did it with an airbrush a little bit, but except
Yeah.
it's more precise. It's
That looks
putting the little
great.
highlights right where I want it.
Right. Dan Cody, my Zen co-creator,
Uh
is
huh.
also a master colorist like you. Just amazing to watch him work and watch you work.
Oh, he's the man, dude.
Oh yeah.
Let me
No,
see
you're the
here.
man. You're the man.
Let
You're both the men. Yeah.
me see here. Let me. Something I like to do is once I get a bunch of colors put in, a little bit of shading and a little bit of highlights and stuff like this, I like to go over it lightly with like a completely different color because
Mm.
it sort of just it gives it a little bit of life.
Huh.
And it's and I wouldn't have been able to put that color in like just with the shading, but if I airbrush it just lightly on top, it really it makes a difference to the mood.
Oh, that man already. Yeah.
So
This,
trying to get it on the screen so that way you can see is just getting that little bit of airbrush in there. So let me see what I'll do with these leaves. Just I don't like that at all. You notice me tapping the screen with two fingers. That's me undoing. That's
hmm
my eternal undo button.
Right.
All right. Well, you know what? I'll figure out these little leaves a little bit later. Here's another tool that I really like with Procreate. Let me show you this jank right here. This is really cool because I like when he's got like little technology and little screens and stuff
Yeah.
because I can come down here. I've got a luminance brush and it's got a
Oh,
light pen. And with the light pen, let me go. I need to do this above the line art so it looks like it's actually doing it. Let me see here. Let me go a
oh,
little
yeah.
bit lighter.
Yeah.
Bring it down a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. Did I see
Oh, yeah.
that
Luminescent.
glow?
Yeah.
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 It gives it
Magical.
just that little bit, you know.
Magical. Magical to me.
I love this. I love this brush. That
It
way you
is
can
like,
tell that he's tracking his ass down.
wow.
All right, so let me come down to the teapot. I'd like to come down and work on the teapot a little bit. So we're going to work on this solid, because I don't want it to just be solid yellow.
Right.
It's got to be something a little bit more interesting than that, right?
Right.
So let's get in here with our regular brush again. This is one thing I had to get used to when I first got into Procreate. It's like finding as soon as I bring down this brush menu, there's like a million brushes. Like which are my favorite? Which are the ones that work for me? So this is what I really like about that blending tool. Here I am. I'm just implying really sketchy. I'm using all of my penciling experience, you know,
hmm
sketching in just the general shape that I want. Then I'm gonna go back here with the blending tool and then fine tune it and make it really what I wanted in the first place.
Hmm.
And I have to do this with like a couple different shades, so that way we get like a little bit of cool shading on the teapot, and then we could put some highlights on it. Because the teapot is like it's composed of like energy, but it's
hmm
solid, you know. So it's like
Right.
you could do a lot of cool little things with it. So let me bring this down here and make this more of an orangey brown color now. And now I can just go in right on top. It's very, like, I'm not, I don't think of myself as a painter. I think of myself as somebody who just draws the color in where I want it.
Mhm. Well, that's
But the
this
way
is
this, yeah,
different, I think, you know?
yeah, like I'm using the things that I'm strong at, you know, to make it work. I'm definitely not a traditional painter.
Well, this just goes to show how decades of creativity, there's no substitute for it, Bill. There's just no substitute. You've been
Oh,
doing it so long,
experience. Yeah, it's just a little bit of experience.
a lot of experience.
30 years of experience.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so let's see. I got that where I would like it to be. Let me sample this color here real quick. I'm gonna go back to that luminance brush that I like so much, and we'll see about.
And Bill, by the way, because I know you're deeply engrossed in what you're doing, we've already passed the 30-minute mark that we try to keep this at.
Oh, see, there we go. There we go.
complete that panel, which I think you're getting quite close, we will have achieved. And it looks like to me that next week we'll still be doing some coloring. I don't know if we'll get to the lettering, but we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. Because I would like the color this where people can actually see
Oh
how
yeah,
the colors come together. So maybe next week we'll definitely finish up coloring. We'll do this last panel. I'll just do
yeah,
some little tweaking here and there in the meantime. But we should have some lettering. We should be able to get some lettering done next week. We'll just play it by ear and
looks great.
see how it goes. Let's see. Ken says, "Does Procreate have a boobify button?" Yes, I use it constantly.
Yeah.
Here's Zen looking at the boobify button.
Jay
J
Tunes
Tunes.
through Bill's
Bill,
experience shows a lot of artists these days take all sorts of shortcuts. AI, model tracing. Yeah, Bill is the non-shortcut guy.
yeah, well, when I collect other people's artwork, it's like I want to collect. I don't want to collect, just the image. It's all about collecting the work that person is doing. You know what I mean. So like taking the
Yeah,
shortcuts. I mean, I think being able to undo and having all these digital brushes and stuff like that, that's already like so many advantages, but to just type something into the AI screen and just have it do it for you. So like I like the idea of AI helping people live. Like it should be curing cancer and solving fuel problems is really what it should be doing. But I don't want AI to live for me. You know what I mean? It's like I want to I want to do it. You know what I mean?
right,
It's like I want to drive.
right, right. Nothing artificial about what
Yeah,
you.
yeah. So it's all good. But yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out with us. Let me see. Oops. Let me
Yes,
turn
thank.
this over here and put the buttons where they
Appreciate
go.
you diverting some time from the Super Bowl, which it seems like it must be in some sort of overtime because it's gone way over.
Yeah, thanks for spending some time away from the Super Bowl for us. And we're going to see you guys again next Sunday, 10 o'clock Standard Eastern Time, and we'll do it all over again. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
All right, bye bye.
Bye.